Okay, this is a different deal here. This is using my cell phone. And this might be another one I delete later. We'll see how it works out. There's a cat. Oh, I got a like. How nice. It says there's no people, but I got a like. There we go. All right, now this is off. This one here is off of my cell phone, so you'll have to let me know how the quality is on this one. If it's any better. It says I lost somebody. Had him and I lost him. I don't know what this is here. Oh, that's horrible. All right. Hey, how you doing, man? What's up? I'm testing the live feed so I can try to go on with James later on today and see what's going on with this. I tried a couple of experiments with my laptop computer, but my internet connection is so horrible that I decided to give up on that. And then for this one, this is my cell phone, and I like the cell phone, does pretty good. Hopefully the sound is good. I tried it yesterday with my I did an experiment with the microphone, this portable microphone I have for the cell phone. It worked okay, but I wasn't sure if this was going to work well or not. Oh, good, thanks. The other problem I had was the quality of the video from the laptop was bad. It wasn't very good during the live stream, and it probably looks horrible on playback too. But the other issue is that the internet connection's so bad with the live stream that it's just, I think my computer is just choking because I have to have the internet set up with YouTube, so YouTube has to be on, established, connected, and everything else. So there's an internet connection there. Then OBS software is running as well to capture the video, and so now I got two software packages open at the same time, and they're trying to access the internet and do things. But with the cell phone, this is the thing I noticed about when I shoot a live, not live video, I don't do live video, but when I shoot a video on the cell phone and I edit it on my editing computer over here, if I punch that over there, it's my editing computer. When I do the edited thing and then I put the file back on my cell phone, it's up. When I put the video back on my cell phone, now you just go to bed at night and let it roll. And then that works fine because, you know, number one, I'm sleeping and nothing else is using the internet. But I think if the internet wants to even think about being used at all in this particular neighborhood, it just dies. It's just, you know, there's nothing. The problem is that, 20 years old is not old for a community as far as I think, but the problem is that the copper wires that they used back then for the phone system are just no good. The cable system is better, but I can't stand Comcast. Nothing against anybody who has a love of Comcast, but I have a couple of reasons why I dislike them. What we had before Comcast was a really great service. It was flawless. It worked all the time. It was called Roadrunner. They sold up into Comcast, and then things went bad from there. So I fired Comcast and I hired AT&T, and I keep trying to buy the fastest internet package I can get, and they're like, good luck to you. Hey, thanks. You know what? I'm gonna have to put on my cheaters here because I can't see the phone. Hey, Angel, how you doing? This is funny on the cell phone. If any of y'all do, any of y'all from the South, if anybody does a live stream and you do it on a computer kind of thing, you have a whole bunch of, you can see the live chat. So you can see the live chat too, and it's great. But hey, God, and thanks for the lemon challenge. Anyways, but the live streams on the computer screen, you can see all this. Like on the cell phone, it's kind of interesting. It's kind of neat because the messages pop up right on my screen, which is great because I can read them like almost. I'm looking at the cameras over here. If I'm looking this way, I'm looking at my screen. But if I'm looking right there, I'm looking right at the camera, like I'm looking in your face. Live video, cats. Hey, kitty cat. We're not yell. Anyways, so I think that the cell phone for me, because of my situation here, the way the application is designed for the cell phone, I think that it works pretty good, and that it might do better. So if the video starts cutting out or anything, or any crazy things start happening, let me know. I'm gonna do one more thing here. Let's see what happens when I do this. Oh. There we go. Yeah, see if I try to get rid of any shadows. Actually, it's funny because I'm kind of making a shadow right here from this cell phone. It's hilarious. Let me see. Let me see if I can pull. Oh, look at that. You cannot control your free. I cannot. I cannot. That right there is, this is Mr. Handsome. So Mr. Handsome because he's so handsome. Get it? Anyways, he was rolling around in front of a neighbor's yard and they thought he was somebody else's cat. So he's such a beautiful cat. I figured I'd, pick him up. We took him down to the local vet and we had him scanned for a chip, but nobody chipped the cat. So I'm like, okay, well, he's a beautiful cat. Somebody's going to come by and claim him. So I called him Foster. And, my wife didn't like the name Foster for a cat. Well, he's a foster cat, right? So she renamed him to Mr. I said, well, he's handsome, so we just call him Mr. Handsome. I think she allowed that to happen, so it's okay. So he's Mr. Handsome, but he lives in the house. This is actually my office. The house is on the other side of that wall behind you, where there are 3 cats looking at me. So it's funny. Yeah. Most of my cats are rescued cats. Mr. Handsome was just wandering around, and there's a busy street out front that's not conducive to healthy cats. So we brought Mr. Handsome inside. And you know what? I'm looking over here, and it's probably in your screen, but if you see this short little guy right there, that is indeed Obi-Wan. Somebody made a note about the lightsaber stuff over there. Yeah, Mr. Handsome is cool. The other cat, every now and then you might see him. I'm looking at his tail, so I don't know what he's doing over there in front of the refrigerator. But his name's Pablo. Pablo is not our cat. He's a visitor. His owner got stuck with that passport thing, the visas in and out of the country. She was a student who was staying here, and her brother's here. Her brother's actually here in our community, and he had no problem getting in, but she got stuck. So Pablo, she asked if we would watch Pablo while she was stuck in Dubai. And so we're taking care of Pablo, who is taking care of my kitchen cabinets right now. The note, you guys see the note over there, it says, once they come in, they stay in. Yeah, forever cats, that's funny. Yeah, that's all our cats. We don't take them inside. The reason why I don't let them outside, I'll give you a story. Not too long ago, we ended up with, I'm like pushing on the screen here. Anyways, but once they, hey Rudy, but once the cats were in the neighborhood, they were doing a lot of construction and everything else. And a buddy of mine who lived in the neighborhood then was noticing a lot of cats were getting hit by cars out there in the street. And his cat was an indoor-outdoor cat, and her name was Minnie. She came with a name. But she used to come by my house every day for snacks. She'd come by and just scream outside my front door, and I'd go out there, give her a snack, and she'd just hang out. And she's a funny cat. But this guy, he's a state trooper, and he found her out on the highway. So, can you send the cat? Kitty cat. So when he noticed these cats getting hurt out there on the street, he's like, hey, do you mind putting her inside the house? And she hasn't left since. So, and he's actually moved away. He moved up to northern Florida somewhere. But he gave me his cat. So all our cats are rescued cats one way or another. I think at this point, every single one of our cats is a rescued cat. That's good. Oh, let's make that point here. Let's make that point. The chat, the super, because I'm not looking at the computer screen. I don't know. I mean, this is a TV, but I use it as my computer screen for my computer that I use for editing because it's a big screen. But send the cat via video. I can't. The cat's next door in the other house. Oh, there's a cat. That cat right there. Let me know if you guys saw that cat. That little black cat there. Got her. I'm sure she got on the video. Her name's Mia, and she's our. I think she's our last cat. But Mia is like 3 days older than Dirt and kind of frail. So yeah, good. So yeah, Mia is like, she owns me. She comes up and she's like this big. She looks like a kitten, but she's not. She's a 15-year-old cat, and she's hilarious. Yeah, lightsabers. And but Mia, she's just this little tiny old cat. But she just basically tells me every time she wants to eat, and I have to go feed her because she won't let me alone. So that's Mia. But yeah, the state trooper guy, he moved away. He asked me to put the cat inside, and that's fine. And oh, I just want to make a mention because there's a lot of people out there who are not cat people. I actually love all cats. I love all dogs. Across this little lake behind our house, there's iguanas walking around out there. You'll probably hear chirping back there, and he's behind the door. But Chirp is he's a rescued parakeet. It's like all these animals are rescued, but we love all animals. There's not an animal that we don't really love, but cats are easier to take care of. So, and that's it. Oh, but I want to talk about the chat thing because we don't have on my cell phone. I see that the chats pop up, and it's funny the way it works. I should explain. I wish I should set up a camera back there recording what it is I'm looking at. On a cell phone, it's neat because the chats pop up on the window and then they fade out. So and they're right next to where like that's the camera lens right there on my cell phone, and the text goes right next to it. So it's a really cool thing. And then but on the chat, when I go into live streams, I go and find other people. Now there's only 4 folks here according to my little screen right now, but when I go to like the James Cox ones, like 5:30 today, I'm supposed to be joining James Cox for a live stream, and hopefully he can make that work with my cell phone because the computer just doesn't work. It's just I tried it before, it crashed horribly, and I didn't like the results. But when I go into live streams, I hardly even really pay attention to the live stream so much. I'm listening to it, but the whole time I'm going through the list and I'm picking people up as I go. Good, thanks. Yeah, I appreciate that, Stephen. Yeah, the phone, I think the reason why the phone works better is there's 2 reasons why. Number one, it's designed from the ground up to be a mobile application, so it has to be more streamlined and workable quickly and efficiently, so you can't go through any of the bloat stuff. And the other thing is that when I'm doing it on the computer, I have to turn on the internet to hook up to YouTube, and then I also have to go back and open up the OBS software. So I got 2 internet connections really happening at the same time, and my internet connection in this neighborhood is horrible. So have you guys seen my teaser trailers yet of that house with the big yard? And there's a delay in these things. I realized there's a huge delay in the video. But that teaser trailer thing is because my wife and I we had an incredible opportunity present itself. I don't know if anybody knows, I was studying law via open and distance learning. I completed my law degree, and I took the California bar exam in February. Now I'm pretty sure I failed it, but eventually I will pass the thing, and that would allow me to practice law in the state of California. But I'm really not a huge fan on investing a lot of money at my age into trying to get a law career going in California, which is very expensive to live in the first place. So we were looking all over the country for something that's relatively close to an airport so I could fly to California and maybe stay for a while if I had to do work on things as the need be. But what we did is we were looking around in all the websites for real estate and everything, and we were trying to find real estate. And what we really wanted was, my office is small. It's like 1,100 square feet, and the house is the mirror image of it. We actually bought the 2 units next to each other, and we got my house and the office are right next to each other. And right? And then we are the saturated of the market in California. It is. Even right here, I mean, it's saturated right now. Everybody's on top of each other. I'm looking across, there's behind, I should probably show out the window, but there's a little lake back there, and then there's a golf course, and then I'm looking at another house. There's a house like right over there. It's within 200 yards of where I'm at, or 220 something meters. Anyways, But what we were looking for is we like the small house. Small house is great because we're kind of minimalist. If you see my desk here, my desk is actually a folding table because I like being able to move things around easily. I also like to be able to clean under things. I don't know if you saw the lemon challenge. I kind of like yeah, eventually I'll pass. But we like being able to clean back to the wall underneath things. So most of the things, except for this TV stand behind me, everything else I can clean all the way back to the floor. And if you saw the lemon challenge, I'm like kind of cleaning up as I'm doing it. But that was our requirement. We wanted a small house. We didn't want a swimming pool on the property. We didn't want any of those things that people might want. Yeah, minimalist is the idea. And, you know, the cats. I saw one of these memes. It's a, you know, the picture cartoon thing, meme, I call them, memes, whatever. And it's a picture of a guy and he's holding a puppy and a baby. And the thing was, this is how come you don't have any good stuff anymore. You know, so it's like, yeah, no, pets will. I saw a dog pretty much chew through a door one time. So, you know, he scratched with his claws and then was chewing on the door. So there was a brand new door for that apartment complex happening from the dog. And I don't know why the dog was chewing. There was nothing in the room to go for. So it was kind of ridiculous. But the cats, they love the wood furniture. This one here's got a couple of scratch marks on it. But the other ones are, the other pieces of furniture we have that are wood are rather scratched apart. So we're trying to keep things minimalist. We're trying to keep things small. And that's what we did. We found that house. The house is it's north of Orlando in Florida. It's northwest. There is a retirement community up in the area called The Villages. So if you Google The Villages in Florida, you'll see where that is. And we're not too far from that. But what we found was an area that had 20 acres of land around it. And it had a small house relatively right in the middle of it. And she showed me this thing on Redfin, is one of the websites out there for real estate. And she said, what do you think of this house? And I'm like, well, it looks kind of crazy. But when we looked at it, it was like, no, it's a small house. In all honesty, it's got one closet. It's got one walk-in closet in the master bedroom. There's no other actual closets. There's a lot of storage space, but there's no actual closet. And then other than that one, and it's really only like one bedroom. So it's twice the size of our apartment, of our house here. It's like 2,100 square feet. So it's relatively a small house. It does have another bedroom. It's got 2 full baths, and it looks really easy to take care of. It's the one with the crow's nest. You'll see that video with that cabinetry in it is the thumbnail. It's at the cabinetry, and you see out of the corner of the picture, you see the spiral staircase, and it's got a catwalk in this room. I think is hilarious. The house is really unique. It's kind of different. But the thing that really sold me when we walked up there and drove up there, it's a 3.5-hour drive from here. But when we looked at the house, it was like, this is it. You know, I mean, this has got 20 acres of land. I mean, it's just a huge, huge amount of land for Florida. I mean, we were looking all over the country. We looked for 35. We found this beautiful house. That's a cat. That's Pablo Picasso. Anyways, but this beautiful piece of land. It had no trees or anything on it. Just flat land in Colorado, and it had 35 acres of land and a really unique house. It was really nice, and but we called the realtor up. You know, it's like the realtors apparently don't want to make any money because we called up 3 different realtors and nobody gets back to us. And I don't know, maybe they think we're in Florida, so we're not serious or whatever. And the house ended up selling and nobody ever got back to us before it sold. You know, we make phone calls, leave messages, but that's it. And then in California, we did look at California. We found 10 acres of land, 2 blocks away from a buddy of mine who I went to law school with. And he graduated, and we're both graduated now. But he, you know, it's 2 blocks away. And we called up the real estate agent. We said, hey, you know, we're interested in this land. It was 10 acres of land, which was my minimum. You know, at this point in my life, I wanted a minimum of 10 acres of land around me. And I said, you know, what do we need to do? Because it was vacant land. And I said, what do we need to do to get to get a manufactured home, not a mobile home, but a manufactured home? They have different standards. They're built in an indoor facility and then assembled, you know, put together like a big puzzle out at the site. What do we need to do to get this done? All right, brother, take care, be good. And then, well, we said, you know, what do we need to do to get the job done? And the real estate agent kind of dropped the ball and ignored us. So we lost that. And then I found another 10-acre lot out there in California, up in the Sacramento area. And same thing, you know, nobody got back to us and the property sold. So for this property up in North Florida, it's about an hour north of Orlando. And my wife, yeah, she said, what do you think about it? And I said, well, do you want to go take a look at it? And this is just before I was going to take the bar exam. So I didn't really, get the full prep that I wanted to do. But, we realized that at that point, if you see an opportunity in real estate, you got to take it when you can, or it's going to be gone. So what we did is we just drove up there and we looked at the house. We looked at all the unique features of it. The images that I took are the first two images are the panning shots. We just got there. Just the first time we ever saw the house. I just took a couple of panning shots with the video to show what it was. And we thought that it stopped at the trees, but those trees that are in the distance there are they're part of it. And actually, matter of fact, it goes like another 10 acres back. So, or another 5 or 10 acres back. I don't know. There's a whole bunch of property back in behind there, and it's all filled in with like trees. And so I'm going to be doing a lot of work coming up here in the future, in the very near future when we move up there, to clear out, because a lot of the low stuff has grown up, and apparently there were horses there before. Not that we're interested in having horses, but if somebody wanted to have a horse there, they could have one, and they could ride through the trees area. I think it would be a nice little riding experience for somebody. And the other areas that you might see I don't know if I showed anything like that yet. I have another video I'll put out on the project anyway, but we'll be all 2018. I'll be making a whole bunch of project videos of things we're doing with that house. And I'll also have a whole bunch of videos that I'm making that have to do with education and things like that. What's a lapidary? What is that? I just saw that message pop up and then it faded away. Pole barns make great. What's a lapidary shop? What is that? I'm ignorant. It has a barn. The barn, I don't know if I really call it a barn or not. When I think of a barn, I think of something that's got walls all the way up, to the roof structure and all that. And the sides have those big, giant rolling doors on them. And so I can clean that up too, so the doors will roll again. The one works fine, but the other one's kind of rough. But it has room for 5 horses. I don't know if they would stay there all the time. And also, somebody correct me on this if you know. Okay. Oh, okay, very nice. And then, the outside of the barn, like you open up you can open up the door to the stable or to the stall where the horse is, and you can walk them out through the barn. Or there's a little kind of area where they can walk around. What is that called? I think it's called is that a paddock? No, I don't know what that is. Anyways, but it's something. If somebody knows, you pop it up on the screen there for me. But that is it's got one in the front and one in the back. So the barn, the barn with the roof, and then in front and in back of that, it's got these 2 areas for like horses if they were just going to walk around out there. And then it has another fenced in area where, if you wanted to exercise a horse, have it run around a bit. And then also, it's going to be in a future video that I have, it's going to show there's an apartment there. It's kind of like it's actually a building. It was built there. It's a structure. It's actually there, but it's kind of goofy because you walk in, and I'm short. I'm only 5'8", but I guess that's average height. But anyways, I'm 5 foot 8 inches, and if I walk through there, I might hit my head on one of the beams going across the top of the thing. It's not very well built. So, hey, all right, take care. Have a great day. So the building itself is like 70 feet long, and they call it an apartment, but my wife and I could probably have that removed and put something else in there instead. It's also right next to the road, and I don't really want to have anything next to the road to kind of respect the neighbors who like to keep things back away from the road a bit. Anyway, so if anybody sees anything goofy, if the thing breaks up, the video feed breaks up or anything, let me know, because this is my test for the 5:30 video tonight with James Cox. And I don't know how he's going to connect up with the file. I think he sends me some information. I go ahead and kind of accept into it, and then boom, supposedly we pop up on the screen. Yeah, loud and clear though. But is the video? How does the video look on your thing? To me, I'm seeing a live image of me on my cell phone. It's just like I'm recording a video, but it doesn't say. Well, it says I'm live. I guess that's like a record button. And then Fortunately, the cats haven't been crazy. That's nice. It'd be great if we had a whole lot of people in here to, yeah, that's just a subject matter. There's nothing I can do about that. But if there was a lot of people in there, like anytime there's a lot of people in a stream, I see like there's like 30, 40 people in a stream, I jump in there. Hey, what's up? How you doing? How's everything going? How's your workouts going? I'm gonna say your name long. Eileen? It's not Aileen? Aileen? You know, in one of your videos, you say how you pronounce your name, and I'm bad, so I apologize. But anytime I go to a live stream, like James Cox at 5:30 today, I go to the discussion board over there. I guess screen right to the right of the screen where they have the chat thing, and I go through and I hover over somebody's name. And if the thing's moving too fast, I scroll up a little bit so it stops scrolling. And I'll hover over somebody's name and those little 3 dots, an ellipse, they call it, or ellipse, yeah, right? Even though they're up and down, I click on those 3, I right click on the 3 dots, and then I go view the channel. So I view the channel of the person I clicked on, and if I like what I see, normally I do, I mean, they're in the live stream, right? So I have to say, I've absolutely subscribed to everybody that I possibly can to in the live streams. So that's why I really like the live streams for the hashtag I am a creator, and there's a couple of them out there. The creators helping creators kind of groups. There's a small YouTube army, and there's a whole bunch of them. And I've been noticing on the Twitter, and the Twitter's real important because we've been crossing over. I see people crossing between different groups, and that's really important that we can expand the network as far as we can so that we get especially the first 1,000 or 2,000 people, we need to get a rock solid core of those folks, you know, because if we get that, then we know we got that part of it, and then we just need to work on that's a cat. That's my little old cat. I'll be right back. So check out the stream for a second. I just pulled the microphone out of the camera so I can go feed my cat. I'll be right back. I know, come say hello to everybody. I brought you another cat. What do you think about that? So let me get my microphone plugged back in. Bye, Mr. Pablo Picasso. So if there's any artists out there, his name, the black and white cat's name is Pablo Picasso. Now it should be sounding pretty tinny right now, but I'm gonna plug my microphone back in, and I think this just works. There we go. So that was different. Somebody walked away from the person on the live stream walked away from the live stream, and everybody laughed. But anyway, so yeah, if you were here for the noise, that was my cat. That little teeny 15-year-old cat was howling at me to go feed her. So, anyways, but on the live streams, it's real important that, you know, if we get there. Wow, and you came back. Thank you, Miss Kathy. Did you see the black and white cat that I put on the counter here? That's Pablo Picasso. If you've ever seen my, I have a video about removing melamine. That's that plastic stuff on the kitchen cabinet kind of things. Oh, sorry, Miss Kathy. He's around. Actually, he's down the hall. He's waiting. I have one cat. We have one cat who can't eat any dry food. He just simply cannot have it. So the other cats have to be fed behind closed doors, or he will try to get their food, and he has to only get wet food. And he's the only cat like that. He's a huge cat too. Yeah, see, that's Miss Kathy. Thank you very much. This is from my cell phone. All right, so I think the issue is that when I'm using OBS software, it has an internet connection, and then I have to have YouTube open as well. So that's an internet connection. And because I have just regular telephone service with the copper wires, they can't possibly give me a decent internet rate here. I don't have great eyesight, but I do have these little cheaters. So if I can't see the words on the screen, you'll see me put my glasses on. But the cool thing about the cell phone is that it's a really wide screen. The cell phones have, especially the front-facing camera, the selfie camera, has an incredible wide angle on it. So, I mean, I can't believe how far this thing can see. But the words are still small. But the phone's real close to me, so most things I can see, but some things not so much. But anyways, I can't believe you actually. Oh, really? Oh, that's hilarious. No, what I did is I made this little device that, because you're hand holding the phone, but that's when you're on with James Cox on that video. How did you do that? You use your laptop? I'll wait for the delay. In the meantime, I will mention that the laptop had a smaller screen to it, and it was a little bit further away, and it was more difficult for me to see anything. Okay. But the cell phone, for the cell phone, I made a mount for it. I had a piece of wood in the garage. I cut it down. I had a couple of toggle bolts, I guess they call them, and wing nuts, and I set up this little, nothing device with stuff I had sitting around the garage, and I made a little tripod mount for my cell phone. So this thing's on a tripod. And normally when I shoot the cell phone videos, I'm standing up, so yeah, right? If you saw this thing, you wouldn't be so impressed. I'm sure I have a video out there of it somewhere, of this little device thing. You know what I can do though? Here's something fun and different. You can see the magic behind here. Check it out. There's my setup. I think you can see the whole thing. All right. This is the setup, all the lights and everything. Duct tape and hangers, absolutely, absolutely. This rack that everything's hanging off of is actually for clothes. So if somebody didn't want to, let me see if I can lock down my tripod here. Not only that, this tripod was free. Hey Sophia, how you doing? Hey, thanks for the support, appreciate it. Don't forget, 5:30 tonight, check out James Cox's video. He's gonna do a live stream. Those lights, I gotta tell you about the lights. Those lights were about 20 bucks a piece, but you can get them now for like $6. I bought them back when the LEDs were still kind of new, and so they're kind of expensive. And actually, two of the lights are lower price. They're newer. And you know what? I'm looking at them, and they're actually brighter as well. They're better design, but very inexpensive. And then the things, I just kicked my tripod. You see that? And then the other thing is the thing that's holding the light is a clamp light. But the thing with a clamp light is you clamp, you got to clamp it onto something, and then you have to clamp the clamp so it doesn't fall off anyway, because it's balanced poorly. What I'd really like to do is get something like in my bathroom. I'm pointing at my bathroom like you can see it. But in the bathroom, we have this like light bar. It's got like 8 lights on it. Something you might see like in a dressing room or something like that. And that works great. Oh, I do. You know what, Miss Kathy? Let's drop me a note. Oh, drop me a message in Twitter, and let's get together and we'll talk about that, about setting something up. I'm using this right now because I was in the front room in my office. Thank you. And I was with Chirp, the little green parakeet we rescued. He started getting really talkative, so I couldn't do video in there anymore. And that was just a white wall behind me. So I started using this and setting up my computer so that Pablo's trying to get into food. Oh, he's hilarious. Anyways, that's why I don't like live stuff, man. Anything can happen with cats. But I figured that everybody's seen this background here before, so I figured use this. And Mr. Handsom's fun to look at. Takes the attention off me. But the thing with cats running around the house, that's like I'm nervous about it because they do all kinds of crazy things. Yeah, it's raw. So I'm wondering, so I imagine Miss Kathy's going to come into the live feed and ask me a bunch of questions in front of, what 40 or 50 people he'll have on his thing, on his live feed. I think when I saw the live feed that you were on, he had like 47, 48 people on there. And today it's at 5:30. So, 5:30 Eastern, I should say. So was that 6:30 for you, or is it 4:30 for you? What is that? 4:30 for you, I think it is. So I don't know. Yeah, 5:30 Eastern. I don't know where he is. I think he's in Central Time Zone too. But anyway, so yeah, he said 5:30 Eastern. So I figured, okay. I've adjusted to the time change, and we'll see how that works. Can you hear the cat down the hallway? That's funny. So you can have it on in the background while you're making dinner. This cat is actually, these cats are hilarious. We should have door knobs, but we have door handles, you know, so the cats can pick up and they open doors. So we have to have several doors locked so that where they can't go in. All right, so I think I've done well with the test. So Miss Kathy, if you tell me that the video looks good and sounds good and everything else, I'll be happy with the test. Oh yes, they scratched the doors. Yeah, I made a video about a really deep scratch they made in the wall. And if you looked around in the office here, you will see several works that are ongoing, shall we say, while we prepare to sell these properties and move up to northern Florida. There are a number of deep scratches that these lovely sweethearts have made in the walls. And they actually we're going at a door frame too. All right, coolio then, that's good. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this stream off then and catch up with everybody at 5:30 and see how I can make that work. So hopefully it goes well, all right? So thanks for stopping by, appreciate it. And until I catch you in the next one, take care and be well. Now we gotta figure out how to turn it off. There we go.